Good morning. I'm baking a batch of bread today, and I have 7 cups of lukewarm water in here, and I'm going to add 6 teaspoons of salt, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm making 6 loaves of bread. And then I have sugar. I'm gonna do 6 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. And then I have my yeast. I use instant yeast. I get it at Sam's Club. I'm gonna use 6 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I keep it in a jar in the fridge, and it lasts a long time, except I use a lot, so it doesn't last very long. Okay, so I've got my yeast in here, and I don't really let it rise or anything, just as long as it takes to get me to the next ingredient. It's instant yeast. It works immediately. So next up, we have 7 tablespoons oil. I use olive oil. You can use pretty much any kind of oil. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 with a little bit of extra. Okay, now we have everything in there, and I'm just going to add the flour. So when I make bread, I don't measure my flour. I just add it until it's the right consistency. I have tried to measure it for y'all, and it works to a certain degree, but you still just need to know what consistency you're going for, because humidity in the air, altitude, all these different things can affect your dough, and it really affects the amount of flour you need. So we have a ballpark what we're aiming for, but I'm just gonna add it until it's right. So my favorite way of adding flour is dumping it. Right now. Yep. You're welcome.
Is it ready?
I love my Bosch mixer. It is a workhorse when it comes to large amounts of dough. Get your dirty little hand out of there, boy. So the main question I get is it worth it? And does it scrape the bottom? Yes, it does if there's enough dough in there. But that's why I say it's amazing for large amounts of dough. So if it's too small, it does scrape the bottom, but it works better for large amounts of dough. Let me show you something. I do have this little attachment for it that really helps. So I use this not for bread, because bread is so big it just works perfect. And for cinnamon roll dough, anything. I use this for cookie dough because it does help scrape the bottom better. So yes, it does scrape the bottom. Okay, I was just scraping the dough off the top. My goal to know when I've added enough flour is if it's pulling the dough off the sides of the bowl. And we are pretty much there. So I'm just gonna keep going for a little bit more. Okay, and then the way I check to see if I've added enough flour, oh, I didn't quite yet. See how sticky it is? But you wanna grab it and roll it in your hand. So it is very close, but I'm just gonna add a little bit more because you do not want it to be sticky. Come on now. All right, let's check it again. Grab a little bit of dough. Oh yeah, you see how nice that is? When I say smooth and elastic, this is what I mean. It's smooth and elastic. It's not sticky, it's not heavy, it's light, but it's not runny and sticky. So if y'all are making bread, just keep adding the flour slowly until you get this. You do not want a sticky, wet mess of dough because it won't turn out. So, and then if you add too much flour, it gets dense and hard and won't rise correctly either. So I know it's a little bit of a delicate dance, but you got this. Once you've done it as many times as me, it just is second nature. Okay, I'm gonna let it just knead a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna put it into a bowl to let rise because it's so much easier to work with in another bowl. Alrighty. Now I could let it rise in here, and if it was a smaller amount of dough, I would. But since it is 6 loaves, it just gets way too big, and I like working with it in my bowl so much better. So just the fact that this mixes it up for me is worth it, 100%. It's not very fun getting it out of here though, but you do what you gotta do. And this way I can knead it with my hands just a little bit, and I can really get a feel for it and see if it has enough flour or not. Because this is a little sticky. Okay, add it all out. Goodness, I'm short. I need a stool. Standing on a stool to knead bread just gives me leverage because I'm short. Okay, let's adjust. Goodness. That'll work. See how much easier this is? Yeah, it definitely needs just a little bit more flour because it's sticking to the bowl. This is some nice dough. It's nice and smooth.